It's time for another cryptid video. This time we take a look at a serpent-type creature that could be the inspiration for tales of dragons. The Germanic legend talks of a strange beast that would seem impossible to exist, but there have been sightings, and the creature periodically pops up in cryptozoological news. Some say this beast is on the brink of extinction, and others claim it to be no more than fantasy. So let's take a look at the cryptid, which is known as the Tatzelwurm. Welcome to IF, videos on mystery and history. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to never miss a video again. Dragons are cryptids which span many cultures around the world, from the sleek serpent type which is popular in Asian and Middle Eastern legends, to the beasts which have a taste for maidens and a weakness for gold, found in the stories from Europe. What has inspired these legends? Why is it that they are found across the globe? What inspired such beasts? Many make the comparison between the familiar shape of dragons and dinosaurs, and think that dragons may have been a way to explain the finding of fossils in a time when dinosaurs were not named. But what if the answer is something else? What if there is a creature that could possibly offer us an explanation to the European dragons at least? The Tatzelwurm, which is German for clawed worm, has been a rumoured creature found within the Alps of Austria and Swiss mountains for more than 250 years. The Tatzelwurm is also called the stolen worm, this alternate name meaning the tunnel worm, along with the Bergstutzen and springworm, the former suggesting that the beast is capable of making impressive jumps. This ability could be why the dragons are thought to fly. Descriptions of the creature can vary somewhat. However, the most common descriptions tell of a short lizard-like creature with one pair of legs and a body around the length of 6 feet. There are a few descriptions of the Tatzelwurm that say it has 4 legs, the animal having 3 toes or fingers with long, sharp claws. The earliest documented encounter with a Tatzelwurm came in 1779. 2 of these cryptids appeared to a village head named Hans Emil Klaus Julius Fuchs. The sighting of this animal scared Hans so badly he suffered a fatal heart attack, dying shortly after his encounter. Before his death, he was able to tell his family of the encounter and describe the beasts. There is a famous painting commemorating Hans's death. The German cryptozoologist Ulrich Magin says that this description of the 2 lizard-like creatures is the best proof we've got for the Tatzelwurm's existence. There are a few more pictures of the strange reptile. A Bavarian wildlife manual of 1836 includes an illustration of the cryptid in a section that refers to animals seen in woodland, and there is the Swiss almanac Alpenrosen of 1841, which shows a scaly creature with 2 little front legs. This is assumed to be the Tatzelwurm. From the 1800s, we jump to 1954. A Swiss man by the name of Balken made claim that he had photographed a Tatzelwurm, the picture he snapped causing a flurry of interest in the mysterious beast, and an expedition was arranged to search the area where the photo was taken. This search didn't yield any fruit, and left many claiming the whole story was a fiction, and the famous photograph a hoax. Another piece of proof, which many also say to be a hoax, was the discovery of a Tatzelwurm skeleton. The Geneva Institute of Science took possession of the skeletal remains during the 1900s. This skeleton was snake-like, with 2 clawed arms and a head which was bigger than normal proportions when looking at its body. We sadly can't subject these remains to modern testing because, as often is the case with this type of thing, the skeleton has been lost. The lack of body again having people call hoax when discussing the Tatzelwurm. Bernard Heuvelmans, regarded as the father of cryptozoology by many, believed that the Tatzelwurm was a real venomous lizard living in the Alps. He believed the animal to be some kind of amphibian, saying that it could be a European relative to the genus Megalobatrachus, the endangered large salamander found in China and Japan. So, with a distinct lack of hard proof, we are back to witness sightings, and there are many more than poor old Hans. In 1928, a peasant found the remains of a Tatzelwurm. He managed to take these remains home. However, the carcass was subsequently eaten by crows and the specimen was lost. Throughout the 18 and 1900s, it was accepted fact that the Tatzelwurm was a real animal, with many other incidental tales, like that of the peasant boy, keeping the story alive. Another story tells of a farmer and his son who were out gathering herbs high up in the mountain valleys. The son rounded a rock looking for some more herbs to pick. This is when his father heard him let out an almighty scream. Rounding the rock himself, he saw a gruesome monster behind the rock, worryingly close to his son. The animal hissed like some sort of snake, but its face was not that of a serpent, but something more feline looking, with huge bright eyes. The father, protecting his son, stabbed the Tatzelwurm with a sharp stick. This weapon punctured the creature's skin and sunk into its flesh. Blood sprayed out of the animal, and when it hit the man's leg, it burned as if it was some kind of acid. This reminds me of another acid-spitting worm found in cryptozoology, the Mongolian deathworm. Could there be some kind of relation with these creatures? So what creatures that are accepted by mainstream science could this cryptid be related to? There is the obvious comparison to snakes and other reptiles. We know of animals like the Italian skink and the Mexican mole lizard, and we have the fossil records of Tetrapodophys and other flap-footed lizards. I would think that the idea of the Tatzelwurm being a reptile or amphibian is slim, as the area is not an environment suited to reptiles, let alone a 6-foot-long species. Mammals do thrive in the area. Could they provide an answer? Species such as stoats and weasels could match the described long slender body and the cat-like face, but they do not have the size and are obviously covered in hair and not scales. As for the creature's acidic blood, maybe that could give us a clue. Insects often have this trait, along with arthropods like centipedes and millipedes. Insects also have an uncanny knack of evolving to look like other creatures. Could the Tatzelwurm be some kind of super large arthropod? Or maybe it is a dragon. Sadly, Tatzelwurm reports have all but ceased in recent years, this leading some to claim that the animal could now be extinct, if it did ever exist. What do you think the Tatzelwurm is or was? Is it a creature of fantasy, or do you think there is the possibility of an unknown small dragon-like beast hiding in the picturesque mountains of the Austrian Alps? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy what we do here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, like and share. You can find us across social media by searching weareif. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.